Papercrafters, Christine Pennington, your Fun Stampers Journey Coach number 87. I'm also known as Pennington Creates on Instagram and Facebook. Today I'm sharing a fun card I made with one of our newer stamp sets from the Magical Journey collection. The stamp set that I'm using is called Growing Up. It's pretty fun. It has a hot air balloon and it has some sentiments, and these are sized to be able to stamp onto your hot air balloon. So I thought that was kind of a fun feature, and it does have a matching coordinating die that you can get with it as a bundle if you choose to. And today I will be using the hot air balloon, so let me set that aside. The other two stamp sets that I'm using are Ornate Blooms and Deco Dots. I love both of these. They're ATS sizes. They're only $7.95, which I love the price point, and I love the versatility that I can use or have when I use the littler stamps. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started here. This is the card that I'm going to show you how I made. There's a lot of fun elements on here, which I'll point out in a little bit. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is take your hot air balloon, and I cut mine apart, and you'll see what I mean. I actually cut the house off so that I could do this technique, and I'll show you why in a little bit. The first thing I did is I took bubble gum and I inked up my image and then stamped it onto my piece of whipped cream cardstock. And then using the Ornate Blooms stamp and the Sweet Berry ink, I put a generous amount onto my stamp. Now some of you that have been stamping for as long as I have, you've seen this technique done before, but sometimes it's fun to see someone bring it back to remind us of some of the fun other techniques that we can do that we maybe forgot about, and it's called the kissing technique. So I'm going to lay my balloon onto the Ornate to pick up the ink and transfer it onto the balloon itself. Now this is an optional part that I like to do sometimes, and you certainly won't have to do it, but I wanted to make sure to include it in my tips here. And what I will do is go in and apply just to the edges of the balloon to give it some dimension and depth when I stamp it, and then it also shows me where the lines of the balloons are a little bit, and then I'll be able to color, and I'll show you that in a second here. The next thing I'm going to do is take my black licorice, I'm going to apply it to the house, and then I'm going to carefully move it and attach it. And it goes back together perfectly, so only you and I know that I cut my stamp apart. And then go ahead, and again I'm going to stand here because I can get a better angle. Now it won't be perfect. You just kind of eyeball it and do the best you can and go ahead and stamp. Wow. It's perfect, actually. It's probably the best one I've made out of all of them. And so there you have it. I could certainly stop here, bring my die cut in, cut it out, and create the rest of my card. But sometimes I don't want to stop at just the simple, and I have to just maybe keep going with it. And so what I did is I took our splashes, our silver shimmer, and our watermelon, and shook the silver up really well because it has that metallic glitter in there, and I added it into an artist palette here. Let me bring some of this over. And this side is watered down and this side is just straight splash. And so what I did is I picked up some of the splash and I went in and I just started coloring the edges of my image And then I can go in and pick up the watered down and add it as well, just to kind of blend it out. Because I wanted it to have like the dark on the edges and then go light into the middle. And so you can color as much as you want or as little as you want, or not color at all. I thought it looked pretty without doing this technique as well. And then I'll go in and I'll start like highlighting different areas of the design. And then I can go in with my watered down and just kind of blend it in. So you get the idea. It's pretty fun to do, and when it's all done, because of the silver shimmer, it actually turns out really, really pretty. So then when I was all done, I die cut it out, my balloon, with my amazing Amaze machine. Love it. And from there, I ended up with a negative. And I thought, oh my gosh, I have the perfect stencil. And so then it went from making the balloon to making a background. And for this, super easy peasy, I used my pool play. I cut a chunk of our sponges and I laid it on, and I just randomly, and I will blotch, I will go in a circular motion just to kind of give it that dark and that light in different areas. And then I can go and just randomly move it to where I want. There's no right or wrong. You just do as much as or as little as you want, and you could continue to fill up the background. So let me set that aside. Now I did want to show you one other thing, because I had told you that I had used the dots. I forget what they're called, Deco Dots. And you see me do this a lot on my videos, and I feel like sometimes my card's not complete if I don't do this, as crazy as it sounds. This one I actually made with Watermelon Fusion as my base, and I did the sweet berry on the top. And then I really don't have to color it. I could go in with some of the silver just to get the highlighted edges, and I didn't do the Riverstone on the edge either. And so I wanted to just add some fun elements to the balloon, and so I'm stamping the dots onto my balloon to kind of give it some fun artistic flair. So let me bring this one up so you kind of see the shimmer, hopefully. The fun little dots that I did. Again, you could stop at the beginning and be done, or you can just keep going with it and making it your own and applying a lot of fun things to it. And of course, I finished it off by stamping the sentiment in the middle. And let me bring back my card. So here's that beautiful balloon that I made, die cutted, and then did my fun clouds, did some dots on here as well. I also used our Journey Silk, did some of our newer silver twine, which I absolutely love. And then I wanted to show you one more thing before I go. Absolutely love these. They're called Rainbow Drops. Move this aside so I can lay it down. And it comes in this case, and they're already pre-sorted. And you have tons of amazing, beautiful little gemmies. And I will use our Journey Dots or our Journey Glue to apply them. And it says on here 6 colors, 768 pieces. So much fun. Love this. I've used them on many cards. They're for any season. I think they came out in the springtime, and I've continued to use them into Christmas, and actually even used the green and the amber on some fall cards. So lots and lots of fun stuff. Alright, so I think I hit everything on this card. I hope you've enjoyed my quick tips and tutorials. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me anytime. You can reach me at creativetherapy@mail.com, or you can visit my website at christinepennington.com. Thank you and have a blessed day.